Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Miss P. And of course, I have a story for you. This story takes place in New York City. Yeah, I was in New York, New York. Like Times Square, New York. Yeah. Well, this also includes a family member that I really don't care about because she like low-key don't exist to me anymore. Well, that family member was over a well-known African-American, I guess you can say organization. And they were planning a trip to be out there, and Obama was going to be there. It was a nice banquet thing, but it was lasting for like 2 weeks because there was different events in between. We're just going to say it's like a conference. And I was invited at the age of, I want to say about 16, 17, not quite sure. But I was invited by this family member. Cool. We got everything situated for me to go, and I was supposed to meet them in Dallas first before we head out, I guess the day after next. And we linked up at the bus station, and everything seemed fine. We went to run some errands, went grocery shopping, and then we went back to her house. She has 2 kids, and her mom was there. Or a grandmother. I'm not sure. I can't really tell. I don't care anymore. But they were all in the home, and I was there. Well, the first night I cooked as a thank you for inviting me type thing, and then I ended up cooking the second night. I didn't really think much of it, but whatever. So we're getting ready to head out. Everything again seeming fine. I'm keeping up with the group because it was other teenagers going, but they were all younger than me. I was the oldest one out of everybody, as far as the kids go. And then they had an older woman with a walker and 2 like grandparents. Like most of them were like grandparents, and one other parent, and then the lady, my family member. They were of like mid-age. So we were all getting ready to go. We get on the plane. There, on the way there, she pays for my bag because I didn't know I had to pay for one. I've never been on really a trip. So she pays for my bag or what have you, and I'm thinking everything's fine. The first week in New York was stressful because she had me in the room with the older women. So it was all about them, helping them, catering to them. She was in the room with the kids, with the other parent. And I'm like, well, why would y'all do this? But whatever, we only had 2 rooms. So I was on a cot on the floor, and the older women, of course, had the beds. I told my mom, I had a cell phone at the time. I told my mom, and she's like, just make it through. It's an experience. So everywhere we were assigned to go for the conference times, we had to get on this shuttle bus. And I would try to make it on time, but the teenagers, they would want to do their own thing, like disappearing type thing. And my family member, she was like, y'all need to stay together. But more so kind of getting on me because I'm the oldest, that I need to basically be watching them. No, I didn't come down here to watch them. I'm a kid just like they are. I just so happen to be the oldest. Well, I told my mom that part too. I'm like, she like basically having me babysit them, but they won't follow me where we supposed to be going to the different meeting times. And my mom again, of course, trying to encourage me to stick it out. It's gonna be okay. You are the oldest. You know, that whole spiel. And I'm like, this is a load of bull crap. Well, one event, the girls, it was 2 girls and her son, the daughter, the son, and her friend. They decided to leave the hotel, and I have no clue where they are. She's looking at me like I should have kept up with them, and I'm looking at her like I was in the meeting that we were scheduled to do because they had certain time slots we were supposed to be in certain places. And I'm like, I'm not responsible for them. I'm going to where I'm supposed to be going to. Well, she gets ticked off, and everything went downhill from there. She tells my mom that I was having boys come to the room. And it's like, how? And I'm in a room with older people, for one. For two, mind you, I'm still 400 pounds. Nobody was still checking for me, like, at all. And I'm just miserable at this point. Well, we have a day off where we can go and sightsee. We went to the theater where everybody sing, rub the log, if you know what I mean. And we're walking these New York streets. I'm having to push the older woman that's on the walker because she don't want to walk. So I'm bent over, walking long New York streets, because again, everywhere you go in New York, you walk, pushing this heavy-set woman at that. I was miserable. And then I couldn't even see the theater like I wanted to because she was rushing me after they was able to see everything they wanted to see. Well, we get to a certain point, and the older woman in the walker wants to go back to the hotel. Of course, they send me instead of me being able to finish sightseeing with everybody else. So they put us in a taxi and make us go back. We go back to the room. And I go up to the gym because the old lady went to sleep. Well, they get back to the room. It's chaos next door because we had the joint rooms. She says the family member I stole from her. Mind you, housekeeping had been through there. And I was at the gym once more again. And I didn't come back to the room by myself, nor did I have a key to their room. And if the room is locked on the joint side, you can't get in it. I'm not that, I can't break into a room, period. And we at the Marriott in the middle of Times Square. I'm pretty sure I can't get in that door. So that was a whole debacle, and she tells my mom that. And my mom is like, Amber wouldn't do that. That's not her. But steady telling me to stick it out. So that was another incident. Then I finally meet a friend on the trip. That's when the teenagers want to follow me around and annoy the hell out of me. So that little friendship didn't last that long, even though, once it was time for the older kids to go somewhere else, that's when we were able to talk. But no, they were annoying. Then they purposely missed the bus, the shuttle bus that was supposed to go to the kids' event part of this whole conference, and looking at me and tells her mom I purposely left them. And of course, there was a whole nother fussing at, and I'm ungrateful, and I'm being disrespectful, and I'm like, are you serious? So, towards the end, I started running out of money, and I was stuck with one pizza and a large chocolate cake, like a piece of a cake. I ate that for the last 2 days of that trip because she would not assist me in getting something to eat. Mind you, I'm a child. And she made me go with them to go get their food. Yeah. So, we're headed back from this conference, and we're getting ready to get on the plane. And she makes me scrounge up change to pay for my bag to get back. She would not pay for it. And I'm like, but you paid for it for me to get here. Next thing you know, I'm being disrespectful because I called that out. Her friend is antagonizing me, saying I'm a disrespectful child. Where am I going to be in life if I'm going to be talking like this? Mind you, I hadn't said anything. I'm all the way on another side of the world. I'm not about to mess up nothing. I can't. Can't nobody save me. Like, we're not in the same state as my mom. So I'm stuck like Chuck. We finally get back to her house. She tells me I need to find somewhere to go. Mind you, I don't get back to Houston until 2 days later because of how my ticket was. I had to call another cousin to come and get me because my family based out of Dallas. I had to call another cousin to come and get me because she said I could not stay at her house because I was a pregnant, disrespectful teenager. I hadn't even had sex at that point, so I don't know where she got the whole pregnant part from. And why would I confide in you that I'm pregnant without telling my mama? And why would I go somewhere pregnant in a whole nother state? Like, it didn't make sense. None of the stuff she was saying made sense. So She no longer exists to me. She still tries to speak to me to this day, and I don't say anything as if she don't exist, like I said. Yeah, you can't disrespect me and expect me to just be friendly with you. And then you family. And then you invited me. So it's like you just needed a babysitter. Mind you, she was a Jezebel the whole time. Because one time she was in the room with some guy. And she called me over, tipsy as heck. Not tipsy, she was drunk. She introduced him as Daddy. I'm not about to call that man name that. How you doing, sir? I'm a child. What the hell am I? Why are you even introducing him to me? It was weird. It was just weird. Home chick got issues, and she could stay 1,000 feet away from me. I would give no cares. So, that's my great New York story. I plan on going back on my own, because that was not really an experience for me. But yeah, that's it.